Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the life of one of Hollywood's most iconic figures, Gary Cooper. Picture this. A tall, lanky cowboy with a soft drawl, piercing blue eyes, and a presence that could silence a room without saying a word. That's Gary Cooper, the man who became the face of the American every man during Hollywood's golden age. From his Montana roots to his Oscar-winning roles in films like High Noon, Cooper's story is one of grit, charm, and a little bit of scandal. So, grab a snack, settle in, and let's explore the life of this legendary actor. Gary Cooper wasn't born. On May 7, 1901, in Helena, Montana, Frank James Cooper came into the world, the second son of English immigrants Charles Henry Cooper and Alice Brazier. Charles was a lawyer who'd climbed the ranks to become a Montana Supreme Court justice, while Alice was determined to give her boys, Frank and his older brother Arthur, a proper upbringing. The Coopers weren't just city folk. They owned a sprawling 600-acre ranch outside Helena, where young Frank learned to ride horses, hunt, and live the rugged life that would later define his screen persona. But Alice had bigger plans. She wanted her sons to have a refined education, so in 1910, she packed up Frank and Arthur and shipped them off to Dunstable Grammar School in Bedfordshire, England. Imagine this. A Montana cowboy kid, used to wide-open plains, suddenly stuck in a stuffy English school wearing a tailored suit. Frank hated it. He and Arthur were mocked for their accents and outfits, and within a day of arriving, Frank ditched the fancy clothes for overalls. Those years abroad, 1910 to 1913, gave him a taste of two worlds, a duality that would serve him well in Hollywood. Back in Montana, tragedy struck at 16 when Frank was in a car accident that shattered his hip. The doctor's bizarre cure? Vigorous horseback riding. It didn't fix the injury. Frank walked with a slight limp for life, but it gave him that distinctive, angled gait fans would later adore. He finished high school at Gallatin County High School, but college at Grinnell in Iowa didn't stick. Art was his passion. He dreamed of being a painter, but fate had other plans. In 1924, Frank's parents moved to Los Angeles, and he followed to visit over Thanksgiving. Broke and jobless, he stumbled into old Montana buddies like Jim Galen and Slim Talbot, who were working as extras in Hollywood's silent westerns. Why not? Frank thought. He started as a stunt rider, falling off horses for $10 a day. It was tough, dusty work, but he loved it. Then came the name change. A casting director, Nan Collins, suggested Gary, after her hometown of Gary, Indiana, to avoid confusion with another Frank Cooper in the biz. And just like that, Gary Cooper was born. His big break came in 1926 with the winning of Barbara Worth. Playing a supporting role alongside Ronald Colman, Gary stole the show with his natural charm. Paramount took notice and signed him up. Then, in 1927, he appeared in Wings, the first film to win Best Picture at the Oscars. His 127-second scene as a doomed flyer was so powerful, audiences couldn't forget him. By 1929, Gary made the leap to talkies with The Virginian, a western that cemented his status as a star. That slow, deliberate drawl? It wasn't an act. It was pure Montana, and America ate it up. The 1930s were Gary's golden decade. He churned out hits like Morocco with Marlene Dietrich, A Farewell to Arms with Helen Hayes, and Mr. Deeds Goes to Town with Jean Arthur. That last one, directed by Frank Capra in 1936, earned him his first Oscar nod and solidified his image as the honest, all-American hero. Critics loved his understated style. Charles Chaplin and John Barrymore called him one of the best actors in the game. But Gary? He stayed humble. "I'm no actor," he'd say. "I just play myself." Off-screen, though, Gary was anything but simple. He was a ladies' man with a string of high-profile romances. In 1927, he fell for silent star Clara Bow, the original It Girl, who helped boost his early career. Then came Lupe Velez, a fiery Mexican actress, in 1929. Their affair was a roller coaster. Lupe once pulled a knife on him during a fight, and rumors swirled she even tried to shoot him when he ended it. Gary's charm was irresistible, but it came with drama. In 1933, he met Veronica, Rocky Balfe, a New York socialite and aspiring actress. They married that December in a quiet ceremony at her parents' Park Avenue home. Rocky was his rock, pun intended, bringing stability to his wild Hollywood life. On September 15, 1937, their only child, Maria Veronica Cooper, was born. Gary adored Maria, teaching her to ride bikes, draw, and play tennis. Family time in Southampton, New York, at Rocky's family estate, Birchwood, became his escape from the spotlight. The 1940s brought Gary's career to new heights. In 1941, he starred as World War I hero Alvin York in Sergeant York. It was a personal project. York himself wanted Gary to play him, and it paid off with his first Best Actor Oscar. The next year, he portrayed baseball legend Lou Gehrig in The Pride of the Yankees. That iconic line, "Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth," still gives chills. Another Oscar nod followed, but the decade wasn't all smooth sailing. Gary's personal life hit rough waters. In 1943, while filming For Whom the Bell Tolls with Ingrid Bergman, rumors of an affair sparked. Ernest Hemingway, who'd based the hero Robert Jordan on Gary, didn't mind. He and Gary were hunting buddies. Rocky, however, did. The marriage strained, and by 1951, Gary's affair with actress Patricia Neal during The Fountainhead pushed it to the brink. He and Rocky separated for 3 years. Patricia later claimed Gary hit her after she dated Kirk Douglas and pressured her into an abortion when she got pregnant. It was messy, and Gary's clean-cut image took a hit. By 1952, Gary was back with Rocky, and his career peaked with High Noon. Playing Marshall Wilkane, a man facing danger alone, he delivered a performance that's pure cinema gold. The film nabbed him his second Best Actor Oscar, but it wasn't without controversy. Written by blacklisted Carl Foreman, High Noon was an allegory for the Hollywood blacklist. Gary stood by Foreman, defying critics like John Wayne, who called it un-American. That courage? That's the real Gary Cooper. The 1950s saw more hits, Vera Cruz, Love in the Afternoon, but his health declined. A painful back, ulcers, and eventually prostate cancer slowed him down. His final films, The Wreck of the Mary Dear, 1959, and The Naked Edge, 1961, showed a frail Gary, but his spirit shone through. In April 1961, Jimmy Stewart accepted an honorary Oscar for Gary, Tears in His Eyes, knowing his friend was dying. Gary watched from home, too sick to attend. On May 13, 1961, he passed away at 60 in Home by Hills, surrounded by Rocky and Maria. His funeral drew stars like Sinatra, Wayne, and Dietrich, but no fan dared ask for an autograph. A quiet tribute to a quiet man. Maria keeps his memory alive, and streets like Gary Cooper Drive in San Antonio nod to his impact. So, what do you think? Did Gary's real life match his heroic roles? Drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe for more Hollywood tales. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel.